Welcome to the Kyzen booth here at Semicon West. I'm delighted to be joined by Erik Miller. Nice to see you again, Erik.
Yeah, good to see you, Trevor.
Okay, so we're in a slightly different theatre today. Normally we're in the PCBA theatre, SMT, but of course semiconductor back-end packaging,
Sure.
that's also one of your important areas.
Yeah, precision cleaning in general.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So what sort of things are you, and applications are you offering down into the semiconductor packaging?
The semiconductors back-end stuff. So it's, flux cleanings are what we're known for. But again, as we start talking about power devices and the different metals that are on those power semiconductor, cleaning the flux is relatively simple. Simple is the wrong word, but it's easier because there's not a lot of obstruction. But the metals are very sensitive, and so preserving those metals and the thicknesses and all that can be a real challenge.
Yeah.
Because there's can be a very broad mix of metals as well. So.
Yes, and they're thinning these dies all the time, so you got to,
And they're getting bigger, right?
Yes,
so,
yes.
AI is bringing a lot of computing power, as is graphics, and so the chips are getting bigger, and any heat that's created, the heat that is created from those are significant. So any residues left behind really do affect the reliability and the power of the computing. So
So what specific chemistries is Kyzen offering in this
space? It's our Micronox line of products. Again, they vary pretty dramatically depending on what kind of application, but our Micronox line, for flip chip cleaning, we've got products that you can use at 2-3%. For some of the power devices, 10-15% concentrations, and even some solvents for the wash as well as the rinse. So
right.
Kind of a full package of products for precision cleaning. So.
Right. One of the differentiators, though, of your Micronox products is that they're a little bit kinder to some of the metals and leave a better finish.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of materials will impact the solder itself, but also the copper pillar or some of the thin metallizations can even be stripped away. We've seen where aluminum's been stripped away, and so there's a big focus on metal compatibility. Again, thin metals, different varieties of metals, so it can be a big challenge.
Okay. So how do you see the market then developing? Obviously, there's a lot of moving parts at the moment. We've got the U.S. CHIPS Act just gone through. They're still talking about allocating funds, etc. But I mean, how do you see that impacting on your world?
I think you and I have talked about this before. I think a lot of manufacturing is becoming much more regional. We're not sending things offshore to be done, right?
Right.
They may be offshore in the sense that they're in Mexico, but that's a lot closer than China or Eastern Europe. So I think, depending on the continent, things are becoming a bit more regional and specialized. So there's a big shift in the supply chain, and we're not clear what it's going to be quite yet, but it's going to be exciting and interesting, and
There's also new words creeping into the lexicon. Sustainability's been in Europe for a few years now, but it's starting to come over here.
Yep.
ESG. People are looking for much more friendly approaches.
Well, and that's where Kyzen got its start. When CFCs were being banned globally, that's really how we got into the business. There's a need for safer, cleaner alternatives, and so it's just something that we've continued to do since the day we started. Yeah. And the challenges are different every day, and the regulations are different every day, but we've managed to continue to stay at the forefront of that and continue to work towards those things. Yeah. Sustainability can be using things at a lower concentration, using less of it. Yep. There's lots of ways to make things better and greener for the environment. So.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be an interesting world over the next 5 years for sure.
Oh, no doubt.
But anyway, great to see you here,
Good to see you,
Erik, and thanks for talking to us today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.